Hi everyone, welcome to our last webinar in this year. Today we are covering the topic, the New Skilled Immigration Act. You already heard of it. And today our expert Michaele Nitsche from Make It in Germany will introduce you the changes of the law. And before we start, I want to give you some technical advice. You can type any question you have in the chat. Don't be confused, only we, the moderators, can see your question, and I will try to collect all your questions. And at the end of the presentation, I will read some of your questions to Michaele Nitsche, so in order you can get your answers. Also, you can download today's presentation under handouts, and this webinar will be also uploaded on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it afterwards. So you can type in your question anytime at the GoToWebinar tool. And yeah, welcome. And now the stage is yours, Michaele.
Yeah, hello everyone. I hope you can see me and you can hear me too. I have shared my slide with you, and now I would like to start with our topic today about the New Skilled Immigration Act, how you can come to work and live in Germany under the new regulations. So maybe some of you have heard about Make It in Germany. So my colleague and I, we are working for these projects, and the project started 2012, and it's the German government's information portal for skilled workers with the aim to inform international skilled workers and professionals about working opportunities in Germany. But we also provide company and employers in Germany with information how to hire people or skilled workers from abroad. So we have a website with full version in 4 languages: German, English, Spanish, and French. But we also provide short information in 17 other languages. So if you have any important question about how to come to Germany, you might find in your mother tongue or the short information on Make It in Germany. And worldwide, we already reach more than 68 million people. So what can you find on the website? So general information about the immigration process, but in particular, you will find, for example, how to find a job in Germany, how to prepare for the visa. We inform about the different kind of visa that exist in Germany, and you also find information about the recognition procedure of your foreign qualification, because in most of the time you need to get your foreign qualification recognized equivalent to a German qualification to work here. And also for some people, for some of you want to come with the family here, there are also very important information to get, and most importantly, how to let the partner and the spouses and the children come to Germany and live here. So we have provide really a broad range of information on the portal Make It in Germany. And I would like here to point out our job listing, where you can find, for example, the different job offers that addresses the international public, and you can narrow your search, for example, to a concrete federal state if you already know where you want to work in Germany. But the best thing is that you can subscribe to our job newsletter, and there you can just write your email address, and then you will receive the job vacancies directly to your email post box. Yeah, so it's a personal subscription that you have to make. Okay, so our main topic today is about the New Skilled Immigration Act, and I don't know how well you are already informed about that, but here I just wanted to introduce this rubric to you. This is the category that we have written in the last summer, where we have already first information about this new law, and you will find it also translated in different languages, for example, in English, in Spanish, and French. And the idea here is to get you first insight. So what are the new opportunities for skilled workers to come to Germany for working purposes or for studying purposes? So if you click on this link, or if you just go online, Make It in Germany Skilled Immigration Act, you will come to that page. But everything you're going to learn today is much more detailed, right, as what you're going to read on this in this category. But for today, it is important also to know that the Skill Immigration Act was already introduced in Germany in 2020, and this has been reformed in this year, in the year 2023. And the first part of the new regulation is already in force since November 18, and this next part are going to come next year in March and then in June. But before we continue, I would like maybe my colleague Katharina, maybe you have a short poll for us.
Yes, of course, because we also want to get to know you better. And first of all, just one common question is if you are familiar with the official portal Make It in Germany, yes or no? You can click on it. Okay, we have 30% of the participants have answered the question. We wait until maybe 70 or 80%. We got 15, 55. I think we are having here also a clear picture. Okay, I think I will stop the poll at 60%. Okay, thank you for those who have answered. So most of you already know the portal Make It in Germany, 75%, but 25% not. So maybe the introduction from Michaela was quite helpful for you. So now the last question. When do you plan to come to Germany? Is it as soon as possible, within a year, or you are not sure? We are looking also for other options. Okay. Nearly 30% have answered already. Maybe we can top the 60%. "51" has already answered the poll. A couple more seconds. Okay, now I show you the results. So most of you wants to come to Germany as soon as possible, and others wants to plan a bit beforehand within a year, and 8% are not so sure at this moment. So since you already have made your plans, this webinar is quite helpful for you. Thank you for participating, and now I will write to you in the chat, and Michaela, you can go on now then. Thank you.
Thank you, Katharina. This was very interesting insights about you, that you concrete plans to come to Germany, that some concrete plan you have some concrete plans. And now I will give you the information, general information about the immigration of skilled workers. So what's important to know, first of all, before going in depth with the visa categories and what are really detailed information on that. General information concerning the immigration of skilled worker. The first question is maybe to know if you even need a visa to come to Germany, and it depends on your nationality. So if you are if you have a nationality of a EU country, so EU country or the European area, including the Switzerland, for example, you do not need any kind of visa to enter Germany. So you just need to pack your things and then come to Germany to find a job, and then you can stay here and you can work here without restriction. There is another group of people, of nationalities, that can also enter Germany without the visa. These are the nationals of Australia, Canada, Israel, Japan, the Republic of Korea, New Zealand, UK, and the US citizens. And those people, they can come to Germany without a visa, and when they arrive here, they have 90 days to stay here and find a job. Once they get a job, they can apply for the residence permit for the purpose of employment in Germany. This is a very great advantage for them. But all other third country nationals, they need a visa to enter Germany. So you have to go to the German embassy and apply for a visa. And if you want to work in Germany, you need a visa for working purpose, so for the purpose of employment. It is very important that you mention the clear, the exact purpose of your stay in Germany, so that once you come here, you can then directly start with the work without any administrative difficulties. So once you get your visa, you can come to Germany, and before the visa expires, you need to do an application for the residence permit in order to stay further in Germany. So, and when we talk about the visa and residence permit, it's also very important to know about the legal definition of the term skilled worker. We have in our law the clear definition of who is considered a skilled worker, and it is any person with a higher education degree or a qualified vocational training. And much importantly, if this qualification was acquired abroad, so it needs to be comparable to a German degree or to be recognized as equivalent to a German qualified vocational training. This is very important to notice. So are those people who already has a full recognition or a comparable degree to a German education qualification, so they are considered a skilled worker, and then they are qualified to apply for certain visa types, such as the blue card and such as this visa for skilled worker. And I'm going to give you much more information in the next part of this presentation. And it's also important, I just want to point out with this slide the importance, so the exact term, the form of recognition that applies to you. So there are different kind, or there are different procedure to take if one wants to let the foreign qualification recognized in Germany. So we talk about recognition or comparability. And in the regulated profession, for example, all qualifications should go through a recognition procedure. So if you have a foreign university degree or foreign vocational training and you want to work in a regulated profession, so you need to go through a recognition procedure. That is very important. And in non-regulated professions, you have different procedures forms here. You have the recognition procedure for all those with foreign vocational training. And for the one who have a university degree, we talk about comparability. So it's just the statement of comparability that you can apply by a special institution here, or you can look in the NRBN database whether your university degree is comparable to a German university degree. So it's just for you here to understand the different terms that we use in this context. So let us now talk about the concrete changes that are already in force with the new Skilled Immigration Act, because on the 18th of November, since the 18th of November, we have some changes on the blue card regulation and on the visa for skilled workers with professional and academic training. So the blue card, I think most of you already have heard about the blue card, namely the one who already know make it in Germany, because we promote the blue card very often on the website. And this is a residence permit for academics. So it's with for people who have classical academic qualification, namely bachelor, master, or doctorate, for example. But now with the change since the 18th November, it's also possible to get a blue card with other tertiary educational qualifications. That are those qualifications that have a minimum duration of 3 years of training, and they should also correspond at least at the level 6 of the European qualification framework, or the international classification, standard classification of education. So, and the level 6 generally corresponds to the bachelor level. And some concrete examples are professional qualification for educator, for example, because in Germany it's not a classical university degree. You do not have to study in order to be an educator. You have just to do a vocational training. And since these also correspond to the level 6 of the European qualification framework, it is a tertiary educational qualification that is comparable to a university degree. So therefore, with such degrees, you can also get the blue card. And the other change is that we have the Blue Card today also for IT specialists, and they do not need any formal qualification. For them, the professional experience is considered, so it is much more important for them to show proof of their work experience now to get the Blue Card. Another change in the Blue Card regulation is also the minimum time that the employment contract should show. So you should check that your employment contract had at least 6 months of employment in Germany. So it should guarantee you a minimum of 6 months employment. And very important, it is not a new thing. I just had to point it out here because it's still something very, very strict in the Blue Card regulation, that the employment you want to work in must be related to the qualification you get the recognition for, right? So there must be a relationship between education and employment. In other kind of visa, this is not so strict to this relationship, but in the case of Blue Card, it's very important. Concrete example: somebody who has studied medicine, right? He wants to work as a physician, or he can only work in the medical sector with this qualification in medicine, so he cannot do any kind of qualified employment for the Blue Card. And for the Blue Card also, you have to take into account the different salary thresholds. So we have here two groups. For the so-called bottleneck professions, these are the professions where the demand is very great or big in Germany. We have a lower level of salary required for the Blue Card here. I put on the slide the salary level for 2023 and 2024. So this year we are moving around 40,000, and next year will be around 41,000 per year. Yeah, right. These are the salary level per year. And for all other regular occupations, the so-called regular professions, we are around 43,800 euro this year, and next year it will rise to 45,300 per year. It's also important to check each year if you are still in the same salary level. Another important information for the Blue Card, for people who are entitled to a Blue Card, is this one for special groups. So that means, for example, for young professionals, that means people who have graduated no longer than 3 years ago, that they have also a special regulation to get the Blue Card. Namely, for them, it is only important to get the salary threshold, the lower salary threshold. So not for the regular profession, but for the bottleneck profession. Independently of the occupation they want to take, the salary threshold considered here will be the lowest one. And the IT specialists too, as I said on the previous slide, they do not need any formal qualification, but they need to show proof of minimum 3 years of experience in the IT sector in order to get the Blue Card. And the bottleneck profession, as I already mentioned, are also here very special to mention, because for them the salary threshold is the lowest level. And in all these cases, in all 3 cases, so at specialists, the occupation or employment in bottleneck profession and young professionals, the Blue Card will always require the approval of the Federal Employment Agency. What does it mean? That means during the visa procedure, the Federal Employment Agency will be asked whether the occupation or the employment you have shown proof of is correspond to your qualification, and if the salary that your employer in Germany wants to pay you is correspond also to the level required for the Blue Card. So in this approval process, so the BA has to say yes or to confirm that all these requirements are fulfilled in order for you to get the Blue Card. And you do not need to do anything for this approval of the Federal Employment Agency, because it takes place during the visa application process. Is an administrative process. So that means the German embassy will contact the BA in order to ask for this approval. So the approval procedure is not something that you're going to do yourself, by yourself. And yes, for you to better understand what I mean with bottleneck professions, I just wanted to inform you that we have a list as a PDF, a list that where you will see all the professions that are defined in Germany as bottleneck professions in the framework of the Blue Card. So as a summary about the blue card, so as I said, if you want to apply for the blue card, you have first to ask yourself what is the kind of qualification you have. Do you have an academic qualification or a tertiary educational qualification? Yes. Is it equivalent in Germany? Yes. So here again, you would also have to ask yourself the question if the foreign qualification you have is equivalent to a German qualification. And for the IT professionals, the only question about the qualification is the minimum years of work experience. Do you have at least 3 years of relevant work experience? Yes. Then the next question will be, does the intended employment match with your recognized qualification? This is very important. As I say, you have to work always in the field where you have your qualification. And the next thing, the work contract. Please check whether your work contract gives you a guarantee of minimum 6 months of employment. Normally, it's stated always in the work contract how long the employment is set. And the next question is the salary threshold. Here, the question to know about, you have to know about what is the botany profession. Am I working in the botany profession or in the regular profession? And once you get that information, you can check if you have the accordingly salary threshold. So let us now move to the next type of visa, for the one for skilled worker. And this is can be considered as an alternative to the blue card. So all those people who do not fulfill the requirements for the blue card can then get the skilled workers visa. And this is the visa also for all those people who have a full recognition of their foreign qualification. In this case, it can be an academic qualification or a vocational qualification. And in the case you want to work in a regulated profession, you also need a license to practice, right? And in this condition is the basic condition in the old regulation and is still unchanged in the new regulation, right? Concerning the employment type you can do, we have a slight change. For me, it's a slight change, but maybe for most of the people who want to apply for this visa, it's a very important thing to mention here. That here it is important that your qualification, that the job you want to do in Germany is a qualified employment. What is a qualified employment? Legally speaking, it's an employment for which you need a formal vocational training or an academic training, university. So, and if this employment fulfills this criteria, therefore it can be defined or considered as a qualified employment. But again, here, very importantly, is that the relation between employment and the qualification is not important, because the German legislator consider that people that already have a recognized degree can have diverse qualification and competencies. Therefore, they are able to work in any kind of qualified employment, and this is something very important in the German in the mind of in the spirit of our new legislation. But we have here an exception. This is the regulated professions. The regulated professions are legally protected. So these are professions that are legally protected, and therefore we cannot have a very flexible definition of the occupation. So only in the regulated profession, you have to work in your profession. The example I gave you was the medicine. So physician, for example, is a protected profession, it's a regulated profession in Germany. And as a physician, so you need a license to practice as a physician in Germany. Therefore, if you have studied medicine and you want to work as a physician, you need a license to practice. Therefore, here the subject relations is still required. This is very important. You cannot study any kind of subject and then want to be a physician, right? This is very important to understand. But in all other non-regulated professions, for example, mathematicians, therefore you don't need any kind of license of practice. Therefore, you can work in this profession even if you do not have a formal qualification or any kind of formal qualification in that area. So, and again here, the approval of the Federal Employment Agency is always required, because it will also check whether you have the qualified employment, for example. This is much more, this is the most important aspect of this approval process. They really check if the employment you want to take in Germany is a qualified employment. And also the change we also have here concern the granting of the residence permit, namely before the 18th of November, because this regulation already applies today. The maximum you could get the residence permit for skilled worker for duration of the employment contract, but now you get it for the duration of the contract plus 3 additional months. And if you meet all the criteria, you are entitled to get this visa or this residence permit. It's not anymore at the discretionary power of the authority. So this is also very important to notice. So I think it's very technical what I have explained to you. This is why I've brought one example, or maybe 2 examples. We're going to look at it closer in order for you to better understand what I mean. And the first example here of skilled worker is Juan. Juan comes from Mexico and has completed in Mexico a vocational training as an architectural draftsman. This qualification is fully recognized in Germany, and now he has a job offer in the city of Bremen. This is in the northern part of Germany, as a trader for office management. And the question is, what kind of residence title could one receive according to the new legal framework? And we can go through the example, and first we can observe that one has a vocational training. This is very important to notice. So he's a skilled worker with vocational training. Why is he a skilled worker? Because he has a fully recognized qualification in Germany. So we are going to look at this very closely. So he is qualified for the visa for skilled worker, definitely. And second, we also observed that Juan has a qualified employment offer as a trader in Germany. To be a trader in office management, for office management, you have to do a vocational training for at least 2 years. So therefore, this employment fulfills the condition of the qualified employment. The third thing you are seeing, or we are observing in this example, is that Juan is going to work in a non-regulated profession. So trader is not legally protected as a profession in Germany. Therefore, there is no restriction here. So there is no subject relation to take into account. So therefore, our answer will be Juan from Mexico is entitled to a residence permit for skilled workers with vocational training. And now we're going to look at the second example. It's about Maria. She has studied medicine in the US, and she has worked there as a physician for 6 years. So 6-year work experience as a physician. She received a job offer as a medical department manager in a pharmaceutical company in Bavaria. This is in the southern part of Germany. And now she would like to accept the job. But the question is here, what kind of title, what kind of visa could Maria receive according to our new legal framework? And here we have 2 options. So the first option we are going to look at will be the EU Blue Card. Why the EU Blue Card? Because we have a case here of somebody who has studied. So we study medicine. Medicine is an academic qualification. It's an academic degree. So if you have a degree in medicine, you are an academic, and therefore the EU Blue Card will be the first thing you're going to look at. But we are looking at the blue card and provided that she has the full recognition of her academic qualification. We do not have this information in this example, that is right, but we assume that she has full recognition of the qualification as a medicine, as a physician. The second thing is she is working, or she will work in a botany profession. So the profession of medical manager is defined in Germany as a botanic profession. So just look at the list of the botanic profession I've shown you on Make It in Germany, and you will find it there. The next thing, the next aspect in this example is that her employment corresponds to her academic qualification. So she has studied medicine, and she now wants to work as a medical manager in a company in Germany, and there is a subject relation between both. We do not have any information about the month salary, and we do not have any information about the duration of the work contract. So those are the two information that we are missing in this example. But we can assume that as a medical manager, she will learn enough to reach the salary threshold. So if you have the concrete information about the salary threshold and about her work contract, that should be at least of 6 months employment. Therefore, she will be qualified for the blue card, or she will be entitled to get the blue card. If not, therefore, there's still an alternative for her. Namely, she will get the visa or the residence permit for a skilled worker with academic education, namely because she also has a qualification that we assume here in this case fully recognized in Germany, and she also wants to work in a qualified employment. So the medical department manager is also a qualified employment in this case. But here again, we'll miss information about the license to practice she has. She must show in Germany, because here the question will be, the German company, does it want to get a license to practice for her or not? If yes, she will show proof of that. If not, she will get the residence permit without this license of practice. So in the case of Maria, there are two options to look at. In the case of Juan, there's only one case to look at, and Juan do not have an academic qualification. This is why we cannot consider that Juan can get the blue card. So Juan cannot receive a blue card because he has a classical vocational training, right? So I would like now to move on with the next part, or the next chapter of the changes that we are going now to look. We're going to look at the future now. So I've talked about things that are already applied today, because these changes have occurred on the 18th of November, but now I look at the future. So what would come into force from the 1st of March? We have many different changes, but we have just here choose the most important one to look at today. So first, we are going to look at the new way to come to Germany based on professional experience. So it will be possible from the 1st of March to receive a visa for employment based on professional experience. That means that concern employment in all non-regulated professions in all sectors. That, for example, to be very clear here, all those people want to work as a physician. Most of the medical professions are regulated professions, right? Most of them, not all, but most of them. Most of the medical professions are regulated. Therefore, for this area, this visa type or this residence permit will not apply. So this residence permit apply only if you want to come to work in a non-regulated profession. IT, for example, is a typical non-regulated profession. And again, here for this visa, the recognition of the foreign qualification is not required at all. So, and for the IT specialist, you do not need any kind of formal qualification, but only your work experience. And what are the requirements for all those people? So you need to show proof of your qualification, a vocational training or university degree, or even the qualification of German Chamber of Commerce abroad. So there are many German Chambers of Commerce abroad that also train people, and at the end they get a qualification. There are some categories of qualification of German Chamber of Commerce can also be equivalent to vocational training in Germany. Therefore, with such qualification, we can also receive this kind of visa. The second requirement is the professional experience of at least 2 years in the intended profession. So the intended profession is the profession you want to work in Germany. Let's say the IT experts. If you want to work as an IT expert in Germany, you should show proof of a professional experience as an IT specialist. Right? And third, your concrete job offer. And this concrete job offer in Germany should give you an annual gross salary of at least 40,000 euro per year. As this is for the year 2024. And there's one exception to the salary threshold, namely the case where the employment contract is bound to the wage agreement in Germany. But in the general rule will be to reach that annual gross salary. And again, here the residence permit is granted for the first time for the duration of the work contract. And for the IT specialist, as I say, there is no need to show the formal qualification. So the IT specialist only need 2 years of professional experience in the IT sector, a concrete job offer, and the salary threshold or the employment contract bound to a wage agreement. And as we are all talking about IT specialists, they have different options, visa options to come to Germany. And I have just tried here to summarize what are the different options for them. So if you have an IT specialist that have a formal qualification, a vocational and academic qualification, and he can get the residence permit according to, for skilled worker, this is the one we call visa for skilled worker, according to the section 18A, 18B of the Residence Act in Germany. And here there is a minimum salary threshold if they are over the age of 45. For all those people who are younger, there's no need to reach that minimum salary. This option for the IT specialist will be the blue card. We call it small blue card because of the reduced the lowest salary threshold here. And the blue card can be obtained in 2 ways. The first way will be the IT specialist that has a university degree, a classical university degree, and then he should also have a concrete job offer that meet the minimum salary of the 41,000 euro per year for the year 2024. Or we have an IT specialist without formal qualification, but he must show proof of at least 3 years of work experience. And in this case, he must also meet the minimum salary of 41,000 per year for the blue card. And the last option is the one we're calling the residence title or the residence permit, based on the professional experience, where the IT specialist do not need to show proof of formal qualification, but it should show proof of a minimum 2 years of work experience and also meet the salary threshold of 40,077 euro per year. So, now I'm going to move to the next employment opportunity, the one we call employment within the framework of recognition partnerships. This is also a very new approach in the German immigration system. And the idea is to say the recognition, in the case where the recognition of the foreign qualification is mandatory, and the employment can set a kind of recognition partnership with the skilled worker, so that the skilled worker can come to Germany without recognition process, and here he can take up the qualified employment, and at the same time he will conduct the recognition procedure in Germany. So this is the idea of the recognition partnership. So taking up a qualified employment with simultaneous recognition procedure in Germany. And it can be done in regulated and non-regulated professions. That also means for you that are interested to come to Germany, that you can contact a German employer and let's say made an offer. So you can look at employers that offer this kind of partnership. So this kind of agreement where you can come first to Germany and then start the recognition procedure here. And for that, there are many requirements that should be fulfilled in order to agree for a recognition partnership. Namely, you as a skilled worker should show proof of a university degree or a vocational training that took at least 2 years to complete. You must also show that you have German skills at the level A2 minimum, and the concrete job offer via your work contract. And there is another obligation, so a written obligation of the employer in Germany and between you and your future employer, that the recognition procedure will be conducted after you enter Germany. And in this visa process, the BA will also check whether your work contract and the agreement you have set with the German employer is also legally acceptable, right? And here, there's one criterion that the employer should also meet, namely, he must fulfill the criteria of training company or be suitable to provide further training. So, but this last criterion, as I said, will be checked during the approval process at the Federal Employment Agency as part of the visa procedure. And there is another employment option. You see, we have very different options for many different professions. So it's very interesting to follow very quickly. And I hope that with the presentation you will receive at the end, or you can download it from our platform here, you will understand better. And if you have further questions, we can discuss them or also at the end of this presentation. So I would like to move on with the next opportunity, and this concern nursing care assistant from third countries. So, and this is a new way to provide opportunity for all those nursing care assistants that cannot work at the level of skilled workers. So there is a level of nursing staff that need to have 3 years of vocational training, but there are also nursing care assistants that have completed their training in less than 3 years. It can be 1 or 2 years. So all these nursing care assistants cannot work actually in Germany if they come from third country, because there is no legal basis to approve their employment. And this will change from the 1st of March 2024, because the new legal basis will be introduced into the law, so that this nursing care assistant from third country can come to work in Germany if they have their recognition fully recognized in Germany as nursing assistant, as nursing professional too, or they have, or if they have done they have acquired their vocational training as nursing professional in Germany. So you can do your training in Germany, or you can come with a fully recognized qualification in the nursing care to work here as a nursing care assistant. This is a very technical thing, but the most important things to know for you to understand here that you can now work as a third country national here as a nursing professional with at least 3 years of vocational training, or with less than 3 years of vocational training as nursing care assistant. And during the visa procedure, again, here the approval of the Federal Employment Agency will be also required as an interim administrative process, so you do not need to do it by yourself. Okay, so let us now look at the people who want to study what to do a vocational training in Germany. So I just wanted to point out here that the opportunity to come to Germany to seek a study course will still apply. The condition will still be the same, but the slight change here will be that during seeking a study course in Germany, you will be enabled to work part-time for up to 20 hours per week. And under the actual legislation, the visa for seeking a study course it's not possible to take up employment with that kind of visa, but from the 1st of March, it will be possible to work up to 20 hours per week with that visa. And again, the next change will be that it will be possible to change from the visa for seeking a study course to a visa to take up an employment if you have a qualified employment in Germany. So it's also possible for you to seek after qualified employment, even if you have a visa for senior study course. So if you find one that corresponds to your qualification or to your work experience, you can then change the residence permit. And for all those who are studying on with a visa for studying, yes, there is also a slight change, or will be a slight change from the 1st of March. Namely, they will be enabled to work longer. So that means actually they can work 120 full days or 240 half days in a year. And in the future, so from the 1st of March, they will be able to work 140 full days or 280 half days in a year. This is the change concerning the people who are studying with a visa for study purposes. And the one who are seeking a vocational training position. So there is a visa in Germany for the purpose of seeking a vocational training position. That means people come in and look at the concrete training position. And the legislation is also will still apply from the 1st of March, only that the age limit will change from 25 to 35 years. So that older people until 35 can also apply for this kind of visa. And the German skills that are required to get the visa have been lowered. That means from level B2 to level B1. So from the 1st March, for 1st of March 2024, you will need the level B1 to apply for this visa and not the level B2 as is the case now. And the residence permit or the visa is granted for now, will be granted for up to 9 months, because actually it is granted for up to 6 months. So seeking a vocational training position in Germany you will have more time to look after a concrete vocational training position. And during the searching of the vocational training, it will be also possible to take part-time jobs for up to 20 hours per week. And now for all those who are already in a training position or they are coming to Germany with a concrete vocational training, there is also a special visa, namely the visa for completing a vocational training. And the condition, the requirement also will remain the same. There is no change concerning the requirement. Only in the case when you want to take up additional part-time job, it will be increased from 10 hours per week today to 20 hours per week from the 1st March 2024 right? So all this change will apply from March 1st 2024. So those people who have this kind of visa will be allowed to work more than it's the case actually. And now we are moving slightly to the last part of the presentation concerning the new changes. And I would like to introduce now the opportunity card. The opportunity card, I was playing that the opportunity card, the idea is to let more people come in for job seeking, and this opportunity card will replace the actual residence permit for job seeker. That means that for the opportunity for the first time, you will need to just reach 6 points in our point system or show proof of a full recognized qualification. And the basic requirements are that you have a state recognized qualification in your country of origin. And this should also be required 2 years of education. And the second basic requirement is the level of German skill at the minimum of the level A1 at least, or B2 in English, so that you can show proof of English or German skill. And the proof of financial means will also be checked during the visa procedure. The opportunity card will be granted if the criteria are fulfilled, and for up to 1 year, but this can be extended for up to 2 years. And also the next slide here, this is only the different criteria in the point system which that should fulfill. So the idea is to reach minimum 6 points, and you can get points for your qualification, your work experience, or the qualification, the alternate profession. You can also get points for your language skills, so both for English and German. And for your age, if you're younger than 35, for example, you already get 2 points, and people that older than 40 will get no point for their age, but they are not disqualified, but they can get points in other criteria. The links to Germany just mean that if you have already lived in Germany for at least 6 months on a legal basis, therefore you get points for that. And if you have also a spouse or a life partner that also fulfill the condition of the opportunity card, therefore you can get an additional point also. So, and here on the self-check opportunity card, this is a tool that you actually work on it, and where you will have the opportunity to check if you fulfill the criteria for the opportunity card, and if yes, you will be then be able to apply online for the opportunity card, and the tool will be launched in May 2024. So on this slide, we are moving slowly to the end of the presentation. I just wanted to here just summarize for you the different cases in which the recognition procedure or the formal recognition of foreign qualification is important. So in some cases, it is not mandatory. In other cases, it is mandatory. For example, here in the case of the blue card, the recognition of the foreign qualification is always important. This is why it's stated here. Yes, for the visa for skilled worker also. But if you see, for example, the visa for employment based on work experience, here you do not need the formal recognition of your foreign qualification. It's the same thing, for example, for the recognition partnership. So the framework of recognition partnership, the recognition procedure will be conducted after entering Germany here. And for the opportunity card, the recognition, for example, is not mandatory, but you get full you get four points, for example, if you're already been in the procedure, in the recognition procedure, and at the end your qualification was partially recognized, you get 4 points for that. And if you have already the full recognition of your qualification, therefore you are automatically qualified for an opportunity card. So this is just a try here to get the whole story about recognition and residence permit at the same time. And if you need to be up to date what is happening legally speaking in the immigration politics in Germany, you can subscribe our newsletter that you can also find in Make It in Germany in English and in German too. And I think I come to the end. I thank you very much for listening and for your patience due to the technical problem. I hope you have not lost much of you, and I will be very glad to answer your questions now.
Thank you, Michaela, so much. No, I think we catched all up since you repeated again. So thank you for your time, and thank you all to all the participants with your helpful tips and your patience at this matter. Yeah, we have, I think, to tell you why we have some technical issues. We reached the maximum of participants, about 1000K. So we are quite a lot here in this room. That's why I'm unfortunately not able to answer all your questions. I'm also picking some of them. Really sorry for that, but maybe Michaela, you can show later where they can contact us again on the Make It in Germany portal, so you can ask your question directly also to your experts. But now we are starting. We are starting with, I have marked some questions. Hi, thank you for this webinar. I'm already in Germany. I have a few questions. What happens when someone on a blue card loses his job? How long can he or she stay in Germany to look for a new job?
Okay, yeah, this is a very important question. I can understand the problem. It is possible to get the residence permit for job seeking for up to 6 months. Yes, if you lose your job. So what you have to do is to go to the foreign office and inform them about the fact that you're no longer in employment, and therefore you will get the residence permit for job seeking. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Katharina?
Next question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So next one, I'm from Turkey and meet all the requirements, and I have a job offer in the IT sector as a software quality assurance manager. I already have a Schengen visa from Germany. I heard the new regulation lets people to enter as a tourist and apply for a job while there. Is it true?
Yes, it is true, but it depends on what kind of Schengen visa. It's a very technical, it's a slight difference. So there are Schengen visa that are appropriate to change into a working visa. Other Schengen visa are not appropriate. So since I do not have this detail, I will recommend you to contact the foreign office. And again, this possibility will be possible from the 1st of March, not yet, not now. Now it's not possible, but from the 1st of March, it will be possible for some kind of Schengen visa to be changed into an employment visa.
Okay, thanks. Next one, for the EU Blue Card, I'm applying for jobs that are not directly related to my university training, but the positions I'm looking for require completed commercial vocational training or a comparable qualification combined with several years of experiences in the same type of role. Would I be eligible for a Blue Card?
For the Blue Card, it is a requirement that the qualification matches with the job offer. It is the crucial requirement, and only the VA can decide about it, right? The last decision of is we will take the VA. So if you have a job offer and you are in Germany, you can contact the there's is the person in Germany? Do you have any information about that?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. So in this case, I will contact the hotline. Please call the hotline working and living in Germany. Maybe you can find the number of the hotline on the Make It in Germany portal. Please contact the hotline, and then you have to they will recommend you to contact the department of the BA that is in charge of approval procedure. So if you contact the hotline and present the situation, maybe ask directly to the contact of the department that is in charge of those approval procedure, maybe you can get much more information on that. But for the Blue Card, it is very important. It is a strict requirement. You should fulfill that the qualification should match with the job offer.
Okay. How do IT specialists show the proof of the professional experience? Is a letter of recommendation of the previous companies okay?
Yeah, most of the time, yes. So recommendation of the previous company they work in as IT. Second, they want to also see a CV, a resume, right? A CV.
Okay. Also regarding professional experience in the IT sector, does part-time work, working as a student, also counts as a professional experiences in the IT sector?
Very interesting question. Yes, and it depends on the employment itself, right? But in general, no. So the only case in which it can count is that if it is an IT student and he is working a part-time job in an IT department. So in this case, it might count as a professional experience. But it's an IT student and working a part-time job in any kind of other thing that's nothing to do with IT. Therefore, this is not relevant for his work experience.
Okay. The next question. If a person is already in Germany with a job seeker visa, the 6-month one, and the visa starts in March 2023 and valid till August 2023, can he or she still apply for the new Chancenkarte when it's implemented in June 2024? Can they apply without leaving Germany?
Okay, this is the one case I don't really know. I'm sorry, I cannot answer to that question. Actually, it is one case that we still need to look at very precisely how it will be managed, but actually I cannot answer to that. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
we
the
have
person
to.
who asked that question, maybe can you please the person who asked that question, can you please write us an email, so make it in Germany to me directly, and I will contact, maybe I will look after more information on that and maybe reply to that. It's a very interesting question. Thank you for asking that.
Okay, you can see maybe the email of Michaele at the presentation slide, or I will type another email address, the make-it@avköln.de, later here on in the chat. Next question. Regarding the blue card, if the salary exceeds the salary threshold, do you still need the approval of the Bundesagentur für Arbeit?
If the salary exceeds the salary threshold, very interesting question. So first, in the bottleneck profession, if you work in the bottleneck profession, definitely the approval of the BA will be required, independently of the salary threshold, if you exceed it or not. For the bottleneck profession, is always important, is required, because the BA will always check if the employment can be defined as a bottleneck profession. This is one of the different things they check there. And in all other cases, that means in the case of graduate, for example, if it exceeds to the level of regular profession, therefore the approval will not be required. Did you get it, the difference?
Well, I hope so. Maybe I can later look at it again. Next question, we also had one with the approval of the BA. Maybe I can, with the employment based on professional experiences, this will come into force in March 2024. Is the approval of the BA also needed?
Yes, always.
Okay, you know, I think we have a more general question, since many of you asked it. Is a statement of comparability in ANABIN for the qualification enough for the visa application, or do they have to do a further process?
So this statement of comparability of ANABIN is enough for all those who work in non-regulated profession and they have a university degree, right? So then for university degree, academic degree, and non-regulated, the statement of comparability is enough, right?
Okay. Next question. I have completed my bachelor degree in industrial engineering in Germany. Am I allowed to work in other professions as well?
Yes, and therefore you will not be entitled with a blue card, but with the visa for job seeker, for a skilled worker, sorry.
And many people also asked if you can again explain what qualified job means.
Qualified employment, okay. Yes, a qualified employment in Germany is an employment that requires a vocational training or an academic training. So it needs that you should study or you should do a vocational training of at least 2 years. So any profession, a profession where you need a certificate, a diploma that requires at least 2 years to complete is defined as a qualified employment. Yeah. This is the definition. There's no more than that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm looking for another questions. I also many people asked about your individual career chances. I posted you in the chat a link to our quick check where you can assess your individual career chances in Germany and also about the next steps. So please take your time after the webinar and do the quick check in order to get more detailed information. Here's one question regarding vocational training. It's a question about the maximum age for Azubis from outside. Is 25 years sharp, or for some Ausbildungen like Altenpfleger, is it more relaxed?
Generally, it's relaxed. So the employer or the Ausbilder, the trainer, right, is the one that defines the age. The age limit I've talked about here concern only the visa for job seeking. But normally for other kind of visas, so if you have already a concrete, let's say, vocational position, it is at the decision of the employer, of the trainer, to decide if you are young or old enough to take up this vocational training. Yeah. Actually, there are also very people over 45 years of age that taking on vocational training is still possible. In Germany, you can take up a training at each age normally.
Okay. Base partner. Okay. So is it possible to work in Germany with a visa, but for a company based in the UK or in the US, for example?
No. Sorry. So we are talking about the so-called national visa, right? What I've shown you here today are the topics around all the national visa in Germany, and all these visa type require a work contract with a company that is located in Germany.
Yeah. Thank you for the clarification. I think this question comes up a lot here in the chat. There's another question in this part, but a bit differently. One asks if he or she is currently holding an Austrian work residence permit, and she's also working and living in Austria, but received a job offer in Frankfurt and is a bit confused about the procedure. She is from Vietnamese, and can she enter German freely and register at the Ausländerbehörde and apply for the EU Blue Card, or does she has to go back in order to apply for a residence permit in Germany?
Okay, so we are talking about a Vietnamese living in Australia, right?
In
okay.
Austria, Österreich.
In Austria, here in Austria, okay, here in Europe. Yes, okay. A Vietnamese living in Europe and get the job offer in Frankfurt, and she has a residence permit for Austria, correct?
Yes.
That means if she wants to come to Frankfurt to work, she should go to the German embassy in Austria, and based on her legal residence permit in Austria, she can then apply for a residence permit or a visa for Germany, right? In Austria. This is possible. She should not go back to Vietnam. No, she can go to the German embassy where she resides actually.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification. And also a more general question, is there a list of non-regulated professions?
Again, non-regulated profession?
Is there a list with non-regulated or regulated professions?
There is a list of regulated professions, and yes, on the EU Commission portal. Maybe I can post the link here. Can I do
have
that?
already
Can I post
posted.
the link here?
Yeah, I have already posted recognition in Germany. There you can also go to the recognition finder.
Also in this there. That means if you have this list of regulated profession, you can therefore consider that all other professions that are not listed there are non-regulated professions.
Okay, thanks. And also 2 questions. Maybe you can give us some more information about permanent residence permit if they have the EU Blue Card. And also, how fast can someone get a citizenship with the EU Blue Card? And do they have to give up their previous citizenship?
Okay, permanent resident card with the blue card. So after 27 months with the blue card, you can be eligible for the permanent residence permit in Germany, right? And if you're interested in taking the German nationality, you will need to prove around 5 years of legal stay in Germany. And there are other criteria to fulfill. For example, you should show proof of, you should do an integration test. They call that integration test, but it's quite easy for people who already live here for 5 years. They just want to check if you understand the general, the politics in Germany, the systems of the social system in Germany, and so on. And given that you already work here and you've contributed to the social security system, those requirements should be easily be fulfilled to get the nationality. But there is also the nationality legislation is actually also on the table of the legislator. It will also be formed next year, and so that it will be also very easy. It make it more easier for the for third country national to get the nationality. So if, for example, if they have worked, if they come to Germany for the purpose of employment.
Okay, thank you. And someone asked if additional documentation from the employer apart from the job offer is required if the job offer is already above the salary threshold. Is there any documentation or needed for the visa application?
Okay. Here I have to maybe explain something that is maybe a general information. There is a so-called, for the approval procedure, there is a formula that is normally sent to the BA. But as I've explained at the beginning, this approval procedure normally the skilled worker, neither the skilled worker nor the employer should do it by themselves. So it's an internal process of the administration. The German embassy will do a request to the BA to take up the approval procedure. And for this approval procedure, there's a formula that should be fulfilled, and normally this should be made by the German embassy. But in some cases, that can also happen that the German embassy asks you, the skilled worker, to fill this formula. So it depends really of the German embassy. Sometimes they do it by themselves based on the information that they are found in your documentation, namely your work contract, your qualification, and so on, and send that request to the BA. But in some administration, the German embassy asks you to fill this form and join it to your application. So, and this is used then for the approval procedure. There is another option to do a sort of pre-approval. So it can also happen that the German employer, in order to be sure that the approval process will be positive, before starting the visa procedure abroad, the German employer will request a pre-approval at the BAs. That means it will also fill this form and send it to the BA department in charge of that. And at the end, if he gets a pre-approval, therefore he will be very open to hire you. But the problem is that the pre-approval does not replace the approval itself. So I'm very confused on the recommendation I will give to you. Yeah, this is also why I say it depends on what the German embassy asks you as documentation. If they want you to fill this form for the approval, just do it. It is normal. In other administration, it would work differently, that the German embassy will fill that form too.
Okay, perfect. What is the who? Oh wow, you're writing really a lot of questions. And that's why the one I want to read out skips at the above. What is the process for converting a skilled worker visa according to paragraph 18 to a blue card?
To convert a residence permit according to 18A to a blue card? Is that the question?
I think maybe the person's already in Germany, maybe, and they changed maybe the employer or some kind of that.
For the blue card, yeah, for the blue card, the first condition, the basic requirement is to have an academic qualification or a tertiary educational program. If you do not have that, only for the IT specialist that you do not need a formal qualification, but for all other professions, you need an academic qualification or a comparable tertiary educational qualification. If you do not have that, you cannot apply for the blue card. So the only option is the other residence permit according to 18A or 18B for skilled worker, right? So if you have 18A, that means that you have a vocational qualification normally. And if you want to change to blue card, the only option is to do a further training that will get you a tertiary educational program that corresponds to level 6 of the European qualification framework. That also means additional training years.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Would a letter of invitation for an interview be enough for entering Germany for Ausbildung als Pflegefachfrau, as the school and the hospital would like to carry an interview in person before issuing a contract? Question from China.
Okay. The letter of invitation of a company. So yes, you can receive a visa for job seeking based on this invitation, or seeking a vocational training position. Yes. So it will be definitely a visa for seeking a vocational training place or for job seeking to take that to take that job interview. Yes.
Okay, we have also a lot of comments regarding job placement agencies. Maybe you can give us some tips on what to look for, or what is a serious company or not, maybe?
Yeah. Yes, okay. So the general tip I will give is not binding now, but first of all, you should pay attention on those kind of agency that asks a lot of money to look for a job. Normally, you should not pay nothing. You should pay nothing to get a job in Germany. Normally, right? And if the fees are very expensive, for example, they ask you for fees for the visa procedure or for any kind of recognition procedure, the recognition procedure itself costs around between 100 and 600 euros. But if they ask you additional fees for that, so for me, it's a red flag, right? So normally you should not pay lot of fees in order to get a job. Really not. You should also pay the fees required for the procedure itself. For the recognition procedure, you should get the right information, how it costs, or for the visa fees, for example. The visa fees actually are about 75 euros. Yeah, around 75 euros for one person, for one application. And also I will also pay attention. Another red flag maybe would be those agencies that made some so great, maybe very that promise you guarantees. So for example, a very high amount of salary. So you should also be very aware of what is the normal salary in Germany for a certain profession. So I've already saw some adverts of agency that, for example, say that people promoting jobs in the healthcare sector that they earn a lot of money here. You should be careful when you read something like this, because actually in Germany the market for private agency is not really regulated. So any kind of people can be a private agency. There are some that are doing a very good job, but there are very also other ones that only want to do money. So this is why we always recommend to look at Make It in Germany, because we have the reliable information, and the information that we provide are also based on legal facts that happen in Germany. And I can also guarantee you that even without the private agency, you can still migrate to Germany for job purpose. I think the services of the BA are also very interesting. You can also get personal advice from the hotline or from those programs of the BA that provide very interesting services and additional information for you. So you do not need really a private agency if you have to pay so much money. So some of them really ask for very high amount of money. So you should pay attention to that.
Okay, thank you for those helpful tips. I think this will quite useful in order to detect the right ones. I think we are coming to the end of the webinar. We have still a lot of questions, but I think we can only answer one more, and it's difficult since every question is so individual. But maybe this is also a topic which came up quite often for the question: is a family reunification, and if it's possible not only to take your children and your spouse with you, but also the parents. Maybe you can give us some information on that topic at the end of the webinar.
Sorry, Catherine, I didn't get the last one. What it was about family reunification.
Yes, if they can also, besides their spouses and children, their parents with them.
Oh yeah. Okay, if they can let their parent join them, yeah. Okay, for all those who are going to apply for a residence permit after the 1st of March 2024, apply for a visa, a residence permit for employment, blue card, visa for skilled workers, and employment based on experience and so on. They will have the opportunity to let their parent join them. So to do extended family reunification, we call it extended family reunification, because parents or parents-in-law can then join the family if they have enough financial means and the appropriate healthcare insurance. As I said, it only concerns people with a residence permit from 1st of March 2024. For all other who are getting the residence permit now, this does not apply. Don't ask me why this is for.
Yeah, that's a quite common question, of course, naturally. So thank you for the last one. Now we have 2:30, and unfortunately we have to finish our webinar. I posted you now a link on the contact details, so you can also contact us via email, chat, or hotline. And Michaela, thank you so much for your time and answering all the questions. I think we have to repeat this webinar one more time in the new year, since this is such an interesting topic for you. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. We will upload this webinar in this year. I will maybe try it till Friday to upload it for you, and you will get also an email from GoToWebinar if the webinar is online on our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for joining us today, and also coming good to the next year. And yeah, see you soon in the next webinar. Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you. Have a good day.